At this point, I am deciding that I'm going to do Nightmare by myself. I forgot to record my microphone audio while doing this myself, so I'm going to have to voice over it. This is going to be awkward. So at this point, I'm lighting the candle because the candle doesn't give me any sanity drops. I'm just checking and making sure I remember where the um, electrical panel spawns, garage in the basement. And I'm also thinking about taking a camera to take a photo of the cursed item should I find it. Now, luckily for me, the cursed item was in the basement with the electrical box. It was the summoning circle and the pentagram, so one of the objectives is to get rid of the ghost, so I'm gonna do that. First of all, I checked the garage, because I picked up the car keys just in case the ghost wants to make some noise with that. You know, running around the house. At this point, I'm not trying to find the ghost, I'm trying to locate everything else. So I've just seen the summoning circle, I'm going to take a photo of that, put a candle down in it, so I get a nice 3-star photo. And then I'm going to run back to the van, now that I've got the stuff I need, deposit some of the stuff just in the doorway, and to try and use the sound sensors to try and work out what part of the house ghost is, depending on its noise levels. I think this is a pretty nifty plan, however, it doesn't really help me, and I have to come back to using a thermometer anyway. Yeah, it is what it is, but at this point I'm trying to keep on lights around me, just sort of where it is, where I am, just, you know, to try and reduce sanity droppage. I've just realised at this point I never used any sanity pills, which probably would have, I don't know if it would have changed anything, but I think it would have been a bit easier. Maybe the ghost would have been less eventful, I'm not really sure. It was only towards the end where the events were starting to be a bit annoying. So I'm just checking the board, looking at the sound sensor graph to see if I can work out where it is. Unfortunately, they're not really helping too much, so I figure I'll go in with the camera. You know, see if I can see any ghost orbs. This is also ultimately fairly unsuccessful, and so I am trying to find that with ghost orbs, and it's not working. So I go into this room here after moving the sound sensor elsewhere to see if I could get it to pick up something over here better. It doesn't, so actually it makes it harder for me to find the ghost. And so I'm just, you know, going back and forth the van, making sure I've got everything I need. Obviously sanity, I don't believe it drops while you're inside the van, so sort of being in the van and just checking the sound sensor, because if the sound sensor, you know, popped up a load of noise on a specific one, I'd know vaguely where the house to check. Neither of them did, unfortunately, so I'm just, you know, running through the rooms, and I see a lot of open doors in here, and I'm like, okay, well I didn't open them, so maybe the ghost did, so I'll check in there for the ghost, you know, after turning the lights on, make sure that I, you know, reduce sanity reduction, that takes as long as possible for me to go slowly insane. You know, pull out my thermometer, which ultimately is actually what helps me find the ghost, not anything else. And I probably should have led with the thermometer a little bit sooner. At this point in time, the ghost has not interacted with anything, no doors or anything as far as I'm aware, and so here I'm just trying to spirit box, and it's not doing anything. It's not giving me anything, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll pull out the thermometer, I can turn the lights on and look with the thermometer, and it's hot in this room, so I'm like, okay, well this was a waste of my time, I got this wrong, and I'll turn on the EMF just in case, but nothing. So, you know, I thought I'll track back to this side of the room, and I'll start, you know, I'll go and turn the lights off as I go along, And I get to this doorway, and the temperature, you know, I'm searching for the light switch, and the temperature drops, and I'm like, okay, it's this room. So I got lucky finding it on like the second room, and so now I just collect my equipment, try and get. Oh, I got an EMF reading, which probably means it's touched this door, and so I'm running back to the van to get a UV torch and a camera or something. Maybe there's a camera inside. I think there's a camera inside, and so I'm running back to the van to get a UV torch to look at that. And I remember I put a camera in the key pot right by the front door. So I'm running in. And I'm like, oh, cool, great. And fingerprints straight away. I'm like, oh, yes, perfect. Take a photo of fingerprints. That's a bit of evidence. Nice. Easy peasy. So now I am taking the candle in, or what, no, I'm not. I'm turning the lights on to come and collect all my stuff over here. And then I'm going to just transfer it into the nursery. See if I can get any ghost orbs, any other sort of information. So, you know, go in, drop that. That's not going to work with the light on, so turn the light off. It's done the door again, so that's another fingerprint. And I'm looking at these fingerprints, and I'm seeing the line on the right and going, this looks, maybe this is an Abake, because of the fingerprint like that. Maybe not, I'm not sure. So I go get the camera, and obviously, because I don't need to have the fingerprints visible for it to work like that, to get the camera score. So that's another 3-star. Now I put the camera down on this handy dandy shelf, get my torch, put it at the doorway, just so I don't forget where I'm going, and then run back to the van. At this point I'm going to get dots, to see if I can get any dots, and also I think I'm going to get a book and maybe some salt or something. No. Yes? No. Give me the camera. And so I'm going to run in, I'm going to put the dots down, or at least I'm going to decide what I want to do. Just a little bit of hesitation. At this point I've worked out that the brake has been turned off, and so I need to go turn the breaker back on. So I'm going to run down to the basement, I'm going to turn the breaker back on, and I'm going to turn it on and make sure that I can put the lights back on, you know? And that ceiling fan is kind of annoying, so I'm going to turn these lights off again. So, going to go into the room. That was me checking the light because it felt really dark in this corner. Going to go into the room. I'm going to turn put the book down. Then I'll put dots down as well. Now, at this point, I'm going to try the spirit box a couple times. It's just not answering. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. This is Nightmare. It could be hiding evidence. I'll ignore it. And I tried walking around the room with the EMFs if it's done anything else while I was out. No, nothing at the moment. So off I go. I run back. To collect some salts and to check the dots on the camera. And I see dots, so I'm like, okay, it's dots. So now I have a choice between Phantom, Banshee, or Goryo. My gut feeling is it's Goryo, just off the bat. I can't really. I have to guesstimate, and so I decide I want to rule out, see if it's Goryo first. So I'm going to go and sit in the room and just watch the dots for a little bit. And ultimately, I didn't see the ghost while watching the dots inside the room for a little bit. And so I'm like, okay, so I think it's fairly safely, it's a Goryo. At this point, I am thinking about doing the extra challenges, which were photo of the ghost, walk through salt, and blow out a candle. And so I'm just sort of collecting salt, and I'm also thinking about taking lots of photos of the footprints from the salt. So getting a lighter, getting a candle, getting a UV stick, sort of all that sort of stuff I need for ghost photos. There's already a candle in there, so I can move that candle from this dresser on the side, and I'm just sort of running back and forth to the van with everything that I need, and going from there, because it's much easier. Get me another 2 cameras, get another salt. I'm just sort of doing it so I can take all of the photos I need to max out the book and get the most money possible. At this point I drop everything, even though I don't need to, because I'm a noob. And so this is me just sort of sitting and waiting to see if the Goryo decides to run through the dots. It's, you know, looking at it, it was very active on the camera, so I figured that because I hadn't seen it in this sort of period of me running back and forth and sort of ultimately watching the salt footprints, you know, there's another fingerprint there, get another one of them, it's another 3-star fingerprints. Ultimately I can turn off the EMF and all of that because it's not going to be these. I've got the 2 bits of information. Now I'm just collecting the salt footprints and all of that, and throughout this entire time I don't ever see the dots. I never see the dots go off, and I'm like, okay, so no dots means no ghost. Well, it's definitely a Goryo at that point then, because it keeps touching this door, so I keep getting these fingerprints off this door, which is great. Absolutely brilliant. It's basically free money at this point. And I just need to make sure that I sort of do everything out, and it immediately runs through that doorway. Unfortunately it doesn't leave any footprints for this one. I can't see any. It's a bit annoying, so I'm just sort of walking around looking for footprints, can't see any. But it does leave more fingerprints. And then also this guy leaves some footprints that I just about see here somehow, and then it leaves another one, and I get that one. It's great. And then it runs through more salt. It's great. I'm just at this point I'm just farming money off the ghost. Yeah, these cameras all used up, so I'll grab a different camera. Okay. And so I'm just doing, you know, going through the motions, putting salt down, getting lots of money off this ghost and his activities. I'm just checking how many pages I've got left. So I've got 2 photo spots left, which means I have to take 1 photo here, and then I need to take a photo of the ghost. Now, there's a summoning circle in the basement, so I can take a photo of the ghost from that. At this point I remember it needs to blow out a candle, so I light the candle, I put it in the room, and I just wait. That's all I do, I wait. And there's the last footprint photo that I'm going to take. Now, I will go and take a photo of the ghost. I just wait for this candle, and just wait. Eventually, this candle will get blown out. That will complete the. There you go, look, blown out. That will complete the thing. And now, at this point, I am collecting everything I need for taking a photo of the ghost at the summoning circle as efficiently as possible. Now, so I checked. So I'm going to check some hiding spots, and I'm not going to be happy with any of them nearby. So I had a great plan. I was going to use smudge sticks and just dot them along my route to my determined hiding spot at the end. This is a great plan, a wonderful plan. In fact, it is probably the smartest thing I think I've ever done in this game. I'm like, okay, right, this is a terrible place to hide. I'm checking all the places, I'm checking all the cupboards. I'm not liking any of the hiding spots. Nah, nothing in there, not going in there. This is empty, it's full, it's just like, no, can't hide here, can't hide there. At this point the ghost is doing some ghost events, going in my ear and stuff. It's kind of annoying. You know, turning off lights, just being a bit of a menace, and I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm getting in and out. I'm going to take this photo and I'm going to hide. It's going to go great. So this is the point where I come up with the great plan, absolute wonderful plan to smudge stick it all the way back to my hiding spot. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And if it's not, if it ain't doing it, that's it's not good enough. So I'm going back to the van. I'm going to collect all the stuff I think I need. I get to the back of the van and I realise I'm holding half the stuff I need, so I need to empty my hand. You know, those just, you know, slight misplays here and there to stop me being super efficient. But here we go, collecting all smudge sticks, and then I'm going to put them down in the doorway as well. Go get the last one. So the plan is, like I said, I'm going to lay the trail of smudge sticks, and I'm going to pick them up as I run back. I'm going to light them, and I'm going to drop them. I'm going to pick up the next smudge stick, I'm going to light it, I'm going to drop it. You know, all the way back to my hiding spot, which I've determined to be behind that bathroom door. And it was a great plan. I, thought, just spread them reasonable distance. One top of the stairs here, one sort of halfway, one just before, and then I'm going to take this last one, I'm going to chuck it down the stairs. So I can do it immediately as I'm running up the stairs. This is the ghost event, he's doing more ghost events, just kind of being annoying. And yeah, so I'm going to run upstairs, do that. Right, here's the plan. Got everything I need. Everything is in order. All I have to do, take a photo, drop the camera. That's all I've got to do. That's all I have to do. And the one thing I forget to do when doing this is I choose the right candle. I'm right here to do it. Take the photo. I'm going to take the photo, light it, take the photo, and I'm going to forget to drop the camera. I drop the lighter instead. It's just, panic. And so I just run to the bathroom, and this is where I basically hide for the duration of the cursed hunt. And just behind this door, really hoping he doesn't come into the room. Now, luckily for me, the entire hunt, he never comes near the bathroom. He goes back to his room for a little bit and just sort of wanders around in there, so I can hear him for the whole time. It's just going through all of that. And that ping was a message, which is great. And so I'm just waiting on this hunt, waiting for it to finish, really slowly. And at some point, the hunt stops, and I'm like, okay, right, time to leave. I've decided it's Gorio. I've made my decision. I've managed to do all 3 bits of optional extras to get all the extra money. And so the hunt's over, and I'm gonna leave this house sharpish and not turn back. I have everything, I'm done, I'm out, and now this is it. So I just make sure I've got Gorio in my book, I've done all the optional extras, and then I'm done. And I'm gonna leave. I've got lots of 3-star photos. I'm just fiddling around with these things for no apparent reason, because I can't ultimately rule them out. So I'm leaving Gorio. At this point, I'm really hoping I've made my guesstimation on its behaviour really well. I don't even know what the ghost name was. That was me running back to check the ghost name. Never found it out. And it's a Gorio. And there you have it. Nightmare, easy mode.